Good morning. It's week 26, day 2. It's the day after Valentine's. I have a sugar headache today. Yikes. A lot of chocolate yesterday. Okay. Um, let's start. 437 times 3. Well, the fastest way I like to do this is to just use the standard algorithm, 437 times 3. Okay, and I know I have to multiply my tens first. 3 times 7 is 21, so I'm going to put the 10 down here and the 2 up here. Then I'm going to multiply 3 times 3 because that's the next place value, and I get 9. And instead of doing any type of multiplication, I just add this top number. So 9 plus 2 is 11. Again, I put my number down here, and then the second number up here. So I have 4 times 3 is 12, and then 12 plus 1 is 13. I have 1,311. For my product. Okay. There's another way you can do this too. You can use the area model if you'd like, and that's just breaking it up into parts. Okay. There's 3 place values here. 1, 2, 3. Ones, tens, hundreds. So I'm just going to make a column for each number, and then I'm going to break it up. There's 7 ones here. 3 tens here, so that's 30. I can't just put 3, otherwise it's like 1, so I have to make sure I put 3 tens, which is 30. And then I have 4 hundreds, so you have to write it all the way out, 400. And then there's only 3 ones, so that goes here. Okay, so now I know that now I'm just going to multiply each box to this number here. So 4 times 3, I'm going to use the 0 as my hero, so 4 times 3 is 12, and then I have 2 zeros, so I'm just going to put my zeros back in there, and that gives me 1200. Then I have, I'm going to do it again here, 0 is my hero, 3 times 3 is 9, and I have 1 0. I got to put it back in. 3 times 7 is 21, and now I'm going to add all these up, and I'm going to start here. So I have 1200 plus 90. That's fast math. That's 1290, and then I have 21, and then I'm going to add it here. I know that, or you can just put it under here, which I like to do faster. That way I can make sure my place values are lined up, and it's easier for me to add. 0 plus 1 is 1. 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, and 1 plus nothing is, so you have 1,311, okay? And that should be your final product. Okie dokie. And then this is a word problem. What is the area of a piece of plywood that is 8 2/5 feet by 3 1/8 feet? Okay, area. You guys should have this one down already. The equation for area is area equals length times width. All right, and that means we're going to be measuring 2 dimensions, length and width, and so I need to make sure that I don't forget to put in my unit, which is feet, and the squared, because we multiplied 2 dimensions, okay? So before I multiply these types of mixed numbers, I want to turn them into an improper fraction, okay? I don't want to try to multiply it out, because if I do that, it's going to be incorrect. So the best and fastest process for you to use is to turn these mixed numbers into improper fractions. Okay, and the way we do that, it's nice and easy. We multiply 5 times 8, the denominator to the whole number. That equals 40. Okay, and then we add the numerator. So it's 42. The denominator never changes. Okay, and now I have this one here that I'm going to multiply. I'm going to get this one easy, ready already, set it up, because I know my denominator doesn't change, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my 8 right there. Then I know I'm going to multiply the denominator to the whole number. 8 times 3 is 24. Then I'm going to add the numerator. It's just 1, so 24 plus 1 is 25. And now I'm going to multiply these two numbers. Sorry, the denominators. 8 times 5 is 40. And then 42 times 25. I'm going to come up here and multiply that. 2 times 5 is 10. Put the 1 up here. 4 times 5 is 20. Plus 1 is 21. Okay. This is the important part too. When you're multiplying the number, you have, or 2 number digits, you have to put the 0 here because we've already multiplied out the ones. Now we're moving over to the tens section. So this just is a placeholder for me. It says, you already did that. Move over. Okay. Now I'm going to multiply 2 times 2. It's 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And then now I'm going to add these products up from both sides, from the ones and the tens. And I have 0, 5, and 10. 1050. Ooh, okay. So here's something interesting I want you to think about. These both end with 0, so that means they're probably going to be divisible by 10. So I'm going to divide this by 10, and I'm going to divide this by 10, because I need to simplify. Remember, we need to get in the habit of simplifying our fractions. We are scholars, And this one's fast math right for me. 40 divided by 10, or I can do the opposite inverse operation. What times 10 equals 40? Well, 4 does. So if you get used to doing that, you're going to have algebra problems like that, okay? And this is a good habit to know the inverse operation of these numbers. Okay, so now I have 1,050 divided by 10. Well, let me just do it up here if you're not sure how to do that really quickly. This is going to be nice and easy. Okay, so I know 1, it's not going to go, it's a 0, but 10 goes into 10 one time, right? Following the rules of division. Oops, let me move it down here. And then I have 1 times 10 is 10, then I subtract, and this is 0. And this is where you need to make sure you follow all the steps, because watch what happens. This is my new dividend. Can 10 go into 5? Nope. So I put a 0 here, and then I multiply. 0 times 10 is 0. Then I subtract, and then it's 5. And then I'm going to bring down the 0, and now I have 50. What you're going to want to do here with this 5 is you're going to want to bring this 0 down right here and bring a 50 and move your next number over here. So if you do that, you're going to get it wrong. So be careful with this process. Please use the process. 10 goes into 50 5 times. Okay? We divide first. That's our steps of division. Now we got 10 times 5 is 50, and then we subtract, and we get 0. So it can be simplified to 105. All right? Okay. Now I'm still not done. I still have 105 over 4. So I'm going to divide this now to find out how many holes I have and what's left over. 4 times 10 is 4 goes into 10 2 times. So I'm putting my 2 over the 0 because that's the last number I divided into. 4 times 2 is 8. Then I'm going to subtract, which is 2. And I have a 5 down there. Bring it down. 4 goes into 5. 4 I know goes in 6 times because 6 times 4 is 24, and now I subtract, and I have 1 left over. So how many holes did I have? I have 26 holes. How many left over did I have? 1. What is my denominator? It's 4. It's the divisor. It never changes. But now I got to remember to put in my units, feet, and it's squared, because why? Yes, you're right. We multiplied 2 dimensions, length and width. Okay. Let's move on to here. I'm going to skip this one yet because I have to read that here still. So I have 853 divided by 53. Okay. So this is the obelisk. I'm going to convert it. Oops. Sorry, guys. Just trying to get excited here. I'm going to convert this into a vinculum. So boop, boop. And now I know this is my dividend. So that goes in the vinculum, which you guys used to call a house, which I think is funny because it doesn't look like a house to me. It looks more like a DAP sign. Okay. Kidding. All right, and my divisor comes down here to 53. And now I'm going to do some rounding in my head. I know this is closest to 50, and this is closest to 80. So I'm thinking, 50 can go into 80 one time, so I bet that's right. Let's just put that here, 1. And so I'm going to do some multiplying now. 1 times 53 is 53 because 1 times any number is always that number. Then I'm going to subtract. And remember, my goal when I'm dividing these numbers to get the whole number is to get as close to that dividend as possible without going over, okay? Or having too much left over. 4 take away 3 is 1. 8 take away 5 is 3. Okay, now I have to bring down the 8. And now I'm doing some mental math again. I'm turning this into 50. And I'm turning this into 300. And then I'm saying, oh yeah, I remember 5 times 6 is 30. So maybe 50 times 6 is 53 times 6 is close to 318. So I'm going to test it. 53 times 6, 18, and then carry the 1. Whoa, good job, Miss Brooks. Look what I did. I matched the new dividend. So yes, 53 goes into 318 6 times. And then 6 times 53, I already know is 318 because I did the math right here. And then I subtract, I got 0. If you want to be a scholar, then let's go ahead and do the inverse operation. 16 times, I take the quotient, which is the answer, and I multiply it by the divisor, which is 53. And so now I'm going to go here. 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And remember, we put the 0 there because we're moving over to place values. 5 times 6 is 30. Put the 3 up there. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 is 8. I'm feeling confident about my work now. 8 plus 0, and now 4 plus 0 is 4. 8, and it's 848. So does my product match my dividend? Yes, I'm giving myself an applause. Ah! I did it right. Okay, there you go. Check that out. The great things about these videos, too, is you guys are going to be able to pause and go back and do all that good stuff. So I'm excited about these videos, and you let me know if you have any ideas to make them better, okay? All right, let's read this word problem. Lisa and Kyle have to clean their bedrooms. Kyle cleans his room in 1 2/5 hours. Lisa cleans her room in 2 1/4 hours. How many hours longer does it take Lisa to clean her room than Kyle? Okay, this is fun. So really, I want you guys to be reading these problems 3 or more times, okay? And that's just to get your head in the game so that you know what's happening. And we use the cube method. We circle all the important information. We underline keywords. I know this one is how many hours longer. That's a very good clue. Box in the question. Okay. This is a nice question to box in. And then I eliminate any unimportant information. I know it doesn't matter what their names are. We're just trying to figure out the solution. So I'm just going to leave that alone. You don't have to do anything to that. We can draw a picture if you're comfortable drawing a picture. Okay? But let's read the question one more time. Let me figure out what it's asking me. It's saying how many longer hours does it take Lisa to clean her room than Kyle? Well, Lisa cleaned it in 2 1/4 hours, so I'm going to put the math up here. 2 1/4 hour, and I hope your paper looks like mine, because then it shows that you are showing me your thinking, and I need to see your work, so that will help me a lot to help me understand where you need help. Okay, so this is how much Lisa cleaned her room in how many hours, and then it took Kyle 1 2/5 hours. So we're trying to find out how long it took Lisa to clean her room than Kyle. Well, how much longer, or how many hours longer? We know we have to use the operation of subtraction. We can't subtract here because we don't have a common denominator. There's several ways that you can do this, but here's what I recommend. I recommend that you convert these into improper fractions before you try to subtract them. Okay, and that's just, if you have a faster way, you're welcome to use it, but I'm going to show you how I would do it. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. We just did this earlier. Okay, and then bringing that down, and then 1 times 5 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7, so I have 7/5. All right. Now, I have here 4 and 5, and if you want, you can. I kind of have an idea what the common multiples are already, but I'm going to draw a little chart here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 4, 8, 16, 20. Haha, I was right. It's 20. So let's convert these into common denominators, okay? I'm going to do 20 and 20. Okay, so 4 times what gave me 20? Well, I can see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 4 got me to 20. Whatever I do to my denominator, I have to do to my numerator. So 9 times 4 is 36. Okay, and now we have over here, it took me 1, 2, 3, 4 multiples to get to 20. So it took me 5 times 4 was 20, and I have to do the same to the numerator. 7 times 4 is 20, is 28. Okay, now that's nice and easy. Now I can subtract these really nice. 28 from 36 is, going to skip over here to this little area, okay? Oh, let me do it over here. 20, the denominator doesn't change, right? And that equals 8, and now I can simplify this a little bit even farther. And simplifying is just the opposite, right, of getting an equivalent fraction. We're dividing. I know these two are divisible by 2, but I also know I have a clue right here on my chart. They're actually divisible by 4, because look at here. 4, 8, 16, and 20. Well, 8's right here, and 20 is right here, so they must be divisible by 4, right? Because when we're multiplying, we're making the number bigger, and when we're dividing, we're making the number smaller. So I'm going to try it. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So 2/5. Yeah, that's the simplest form. So how much longer did Lisa clean her room than Kyle? 2/5 hours longer. She maybe was daydreaming. She didn't do her work as fast as Kyle. Anyways, have a great day, and come see me if you have any questions. Thank you.